Hi there, welcome to our latest unit on Swift Explorers. In this unit, we are going to be making a list app. And as you can see on screen, this is a list app with recipes. So it's a very simple app where you list out some recipes, you can edit them, you can add them, and do various things to them. This app gets complex fairly quickly, so if you think you need more time to do this, or if you're pretty happy with any of the apps that you've seen so far, you want to try exploring those more instead, that's perfectly fine. You can come back to this when you're ready. Now, list apps are things that you probably have seen and use all over your phone. You can think of a few examples just off the bat from apps you use every day, such as Messages and WhatsApp. All of these apps are list apps. They list out messages. You tap on the message and you can go in and create new messages. You might also use social media apps every day, and every single one of these is a list app because what the app does is it will pull down data. It will display a list of data for you. It could be pictures in Instagram, it could be videos in TikTok, it could just be text in X or Twitter. And you tap on it, you can interact with it, you can compose your own, and you can upload it. Alright, so all these are list apps, and you're going to be seeing a lot of these. So I thought it's important for us to get you to make one of these. So we'll make a recipe app. It's a lot simpler than any of these apps that I just mentioned, but the concepts remain the same. Now, one of the key concepts that I want to talk about is navigation. How do you go from one screen to another? Because many of the apps that we've made so far have been single screen apps. So you might remember the counter was one screen. Even the quiz app, which looked like it had multiple screens, was really just one, and we just swapped out the things inside. One app that we've done so far is the About Me app, and that had multiple screens. And that's where you see on screen the tab bar navigation type. So for tab bars, you have a tab bar at the bottom of your screen, and each of the buttons represents a different tab, and each of the tabs actually represents a different aspect of your app. So one example you might think of is the alarm clock app. So there's one for alarms, there's one for a timer, there's one for world clock, and I forgot what the last one is, but they're all related to the idea of time. On your social media apps, tab bars have different views. So if we think of Instagram, there's one for your feed, there's one for Reels, there's one for your profile, and I also forget what the last one is. But that's what tab bars are for, different aspects of the same app. We're not covering tab bars in this particular app, but you can put everything into a tab bar if you so choose. What we are going to cover in this set of videos are navigation views and modal sheets. Navigation views are when you drill down deeper and deeper into a specific piece of data. So for example, in a social media app, let's say you're reading some news on a news app, you tap on the headline and it will bring you to the article. So that's navigation. You might be familiar with the idea of something swiping in from the right side of the screen, or the other way around if your language is set to Arabic or Hebrew. It will be swiping in usually from the right side of the screen to make it look like it's drilling deeper into a topic. There's also a modal sheet. That's where something pops up and takes up all your attention so that you have to complete that task before you can move on, or you might need to consciously cancel out of it. Let me just show you an example from an iPad app. So this is the Mail app. This is my actual mailbox. There's a bunch of mailboxes on the left-hand side. So if I tap on any of them, it will show me a list of mail in my center column. Okay, so over here, this is a list of different mailboxes. And if I tap on inbox, what it does is it will let me compose a new email. So if I press compose, what this does is it brings up a modal sheet. And this interrupts my flow, and I need to actually send an email or consciously cancel out of it before I can move on to the next thing to do. All right, so this is just a quick example of navigation. We'll be showing you how to implement these in the videos to come. So first thing I'd like you to do is, of course, let's switch over to Swift Playgrounds and get started with a new project. So I'm going to go down here, open Playgrounds, and I'm going to go over to my new app. And down here, I'm going to name this one List App. Okay, so let's go up here, rename this to a List App. So let me just switch this to List App Demo. Okay, and tap on it. All right, so we're not actually going to get started immediately with a list app. I'm going to show you some aspects of navigation first. And the first thing I'm going to show you about navigation is really just going from one screen to another. So for here, I'm going to change this from a V stack to a navigation stack. Okay, so when you do that, not much actually changes. It still looks exactly the same as before, but I'm going to have something called a navigation link. Okay, so inside a navigation stack, you can have something called a navigation link. And the navigation link is very special. It has two sets of curly braces. So it's going to be navigation link, curly brace, label colon, curly brace. Okay, so think of this as two sets of curly braces, one set of curly braces for where to go, and one set of curly braces for what to show. Okay, where to go and what to show. So it's kind of like a signboard. Okay, so for this, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to say text. Let's say go to second page. And for this, I'm going to say text. Welcome to the second page. Okay, so now you get a colored piece of text, which indicates to someone that they can tap on it and something will happen. Okay, and you can see over here, the thing that's shown is my second label over here. And I'm going to tap on it. And what it does is it will actually do that little animation where it slides in, okay, and it provides an automatic back button at the top, and it shows the contents of the navigation link. Okay, so if I go back, you can see over here that it slides off. It's like a deck of cards. A new card just came on top, and there's a very subtle shadow where it looks as though the new card came on top from the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, so this is a very simple start. This is a navigation link. And if we're making a recipe app, you can imagine how this might work, right? So let's say we're making a recipe app for, I don't know, hot chocolate, right? I love hot chocolate. So hot chocolate soup. Sounds weird, but I'm sure it works. Okay, and this could be some information about the hot chocolate soup. It could be, this is a hearty concoction, great for cold winter nights. There are no cold winter nights here in Singapore, but, you know, let's just imagine. Okay, so this could be one item. You tap on it and it'll tell you more. Okay, so this is a great way just to get to a second page very easily. What happens if you want to add another recipe item? Well, you can do this. You can just copy this code over here. Remember to copy all the way to the end of the second set of curly braces. Copy. I press Command C. Right, go down here, paste. And now you can add something else. Instead of hot chocolate soup, you can have hot chocolate ice cream. Okay, and down here, I'm just going to change this to be like, how can this be hot and cold at the same time? It's incredible. Okay, so please ignore my terrible captions and terrible recipes, but that's the idea. You tap on this, it'll send you over to that. You tap on this, it'll send you over to something else. Okay, each of these is just a single text view that will display on screen.